Identifying.
The king of cakes. Chopper for the win.
G'day guys, welcome back to Cakes by Chopper. Today we have bubbles for you from the PowerPuff Girls. What you're going to do is head over to the Cakes by Chopper Facebook page, print off the template that is in the photo albums, just check the 2016 templates. Once you've got your template, you can cut it out into the two circles, cut out two shapes of her head, and stack that cake on top of each other. And you're going to trim off the edges to slowly taper it down. You're going to create like an oval dome kind of shape, and you want to make sure there's no rigid edge anywhere around the side. So when you cover the buttercream, it's a lot easier to just get a nice smooth edge. Fill it with any flavour you like. I've just used the normal buttercream, and then I've placed it on top and then give it a full crumb coat, which just goes all the way around the edges, making sure you seal off the cake so it doesn't go stale. I didn't need to pop this one in the fridge because it's quite cool here in Sydney at the moment, but you can pop it in if you like. With the offcuts, just cut out the body shape for bubbles and then cover it with a bit of buttercream. I decided that I wanted to taper down the edges of her chest or I guess the sides. So just make sure that was all covered over. Then you can get some flesh coloured fondant, which you just add 2 drops of brown, 1 drop of yellow, and that should give you a nice fleshy tone. Cover that over the top, make sure it goes all the way around the sides, and then start from the middle, working your way down, pushing all the air out, and making sure that's adhered to the sides of the cake. Once you're happy with it all being stuck down around the edge, you can trim off the excess. I just used my clay cutting tools. I think these are excellent for using with fondant. They're just such a handy little tool. Go through and trim it as close as you can to the cake without actually exposing any of the buttercream, and then tuck the edges underneath. Remove the fondant from the stomach because you don't want too many layers because you're already going to have a lot with the eyes. To get a smoother finish on your fondant, you can ball up your offcuts. Make sure it's not sticky in any way, shape or form, and then just buffer it over the top and it'll smooth out right before your eyes. Roll out some blue fondant, and then you're going to use some circle cutters that I've measured against the template, and that's going to be the blue in her eyes. Then you're going to slice the rest of the offcuts and cover the body with that blue fondant because Bubbles' dress is blue. Trim off all the edges and make it nice and neat. For her hair, I used some gum paste because I ran out halfway through filming. I can't believe I did it, but if you joined us on Facebook, thank you so much for watching this live, and I hope you guys had as much fun as I did. Once you've rolled out the gum paste or fondant, you moisten the top of the head, cut out where the fringe is, place it on top and smooth it down all the way around. Trim it all off and make it as neat as possible because this is the finished look on there. Then you're going to cut out the big white circles for her eyes and measure that against the template and cut out where the fringe would be. For the big eye, you can actually do that quite easily, but for this little one at the side, it does need a bit of trimming once it goes on because that eye wraps around the face more than the big one, which is this one here. Push it up nice and flush to the fringe. Place on the second eye, making sure you leave the space between her eyes because I nearly stuck them together. Stick them down with a little bit of water, then repeat the process for the blue. And I just trimmed it off as you can see, and then place it on. And same on the other side. Then you're going to do the same with black. With the eye on the left side, you'll notice that the blue actually comes right up to the edge because she's sort of looking towards the right hand side. So you got to make sure you keep that flush. I almost put it in the middle. Place in some black circles, and I've just put them on top when I moistened the back and then stuck them on, but leaving the top part loose so I could trim that off to the hairline. And as you can see, it just takes a little bit of fidgeting, pushing it down, smoothing it out, and making sure it's all in the right spot. Then you're ready for the whites in her eyes, which is just 2 little circle cutouts placed on top. I noticed after placing the dot on that I didn't trim down the left eye because it's a little bit smaller on the template, and I used the circle cutout, which was the same, so trim it till it looks right. Then pop on a little belt for her. You don't have to worry about the sides being neat because it gets covered by the hands, which is just 2 quartered pieces of flesh coloured fondant left over from her face. Roll out a little thin black smile and tilt it up following the template's instructions, and have a look from the top to see if you've got all the dimensions right. Then you can continue on with her legs, which I just used more gum paste, rolled them into the same shape as I needed, covered the black fondant at the ends to make little booties, trimmed it off around the edge, and then placed in some white semicircles, which are the little front parts of her feet. When you're happy that that looks all okay and ready to go on to the next step, you can roll out some blue fondant baubles for her hair. And then I got 2 big lemon shapes and then rounded one off and tilted the other up for the pigtails. And I just stacked blue, yellow, blue to make the little baubles look like they're either side of the pigtails. Place them on. These just sit at the side. It's a very easy decoration. And then to finish her off, I lined off her fringe because I think it really needed it to join the eyes and make it look like it was covering it. I would also spend a little bit more time painting, but in the end it turned out okay. There you go, guys. There's Bubbles from Powerpuff Girls. Why not check out my Deadpool cake, my Tweety Bird cake, or the Pirate Map cake? Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.